Good day, everyone. It's Alicia Haripusad here, and today I'm just going to go through a few tips on how to answer a comprehension passage. Now, the first thing I'm going to go through with you is the meaning of a comprehension, right? A comprehension is basically a passage that can be extracted from newspapers, magazines, or even textbooks. And then the main purpose of a comprehension is to gather the meaning from the printed text, and that enables you to understand or solve difficult forms of text. So when you really look into that meaning, the ideal skills that you will develop in a comprehension is really important in the English language, because it enables you to firstly identify what your background knowledge is and what the author means by that specific text, or to analyze the content of what's within that text. I'm going to go through those steps, and it's going to help you understand, firstly, the reasoning behind the importance of comprehension, and then also a few steps on how to evaluate that information and how to eliminate information that's not relevant. Now, remember, these steps are the ones that I've come up with, which worked for me. It may not necessarily work for everyone, but I think that they're good enough to work for you if these are the steps you're looking towards. They have worked for me, so let me just share them anyways. Step 1 is to skim through. Now, this step enables you to familiarize yourself with the basic content of the passage. Now, one of the important things in the step is to analyze the heading. We very often just read the heading. We don't read for understanding. Remember, in comprehension, you are reading for meaning. You're not just reading like how you read a book. This is not just words that are retold. This is reading for meaning. This is reading for understanding. And when you analyze the heading, it gives you insight as to what's going on. It enables you to look into your background information on that specific topic. Remember, in a comprehension test, you don't know the topic beforehand. You're going to need these sets of skills to, on the spot, identify and answer those questions. So moving on to step 2, and that is to read the questions. I know you haven't even read the passage yet, but I think after skimming through, it's important to read the questions thoroughly before step 3. And the main reason to follow step 2 and read the questions is that it will give you an idea of what you are expected to answer. So that when you move to step 3, which is to read the passage, step 3, you already have an idea of what is being asked. So in step 3, you will read the passage and you use a pencil or highlighter to highlight the possible answers or the important points within the passage. Then step 4 is to read the passage again. Now this time, you will read to develop a holistic understanding of the passage. You will think carefully about the author's intention and meaning. And then finally, to step 5, you will proceed to answer the questions. Now, within this step 5, it is important to take note of the mark allocation. Now, when you're attempting the questions, it is important to look at how many marks it counts for. For example, if the mark allocation is 5, you cannot just give a vague answer, like a one-word answer or a one-line answer. Sometimes it is 5 marks or 3 marks, for example, because they want you to list maybe a term or a meaning, and they want you to elaborate, or they want you to explain further, or to give steps of something, or to give a list of something that accounts for that many marks. So please don't take it lightly when you see a mark allocation that's greater. In most cases, I would say majority of the questions, when the mark allocation is as high, there's more than just surface value that the examiner is asking you. So in essence, you will lose a lot of marks in your comprehension sections if you don't extensively answer. Sometimes you could totally understand the passage, but your inability to explain your answers to detail would lead to your downfall. So you need to remember these 5 skills. Now that you know how to answer the comprehension, you will keep in mind the high 5 reading strategy. And number 1, I'm going to go 1 to 5 and I'm going to give you a little explanation there. So number 1 is activating background knowledge. That is one of the core skills that you are able to develop, or that is something that you'll be able to do at the very beginning. Now, this makes you think about what you may already know about the topic that's given. Number 2, questioning. This allows you to reflect on what is being asked. Number 3, analyzing the text structure. This allows you to look for patterns within the text. For example, the heading, the paragraph, the writer's choice of words. These little things can give you an analysis of the text structure. Then followed by number 4, visualization. You try to imagine what is being written in the text. This will give you an idea of the author's thoughts or intention. And then the last but not least, summarizing. Now this step helps you to comprehend. To summarize means to eliminate the irrelevant information and focus on what is being asked in the question. Also to focus on the main meaning of the passage in order to gain holistic understanding. So what that simply means is focus on what is being asked in the question instead of focusing on things around it. Many times, especially in high school when I've been teaching there, learners answer around the main point, but they miss the point. They miss what is being asked in the question, and that's how they get comprehension wrong. But when you do the corrections with them, it seems like almost all of them knew what the passage was about. So it's not the lack of knowledge in terms of the content. Sometimes it is sometimes your inability to analyze and understand what is being asked. And in a comprehension, the questions are equally important to the content of which you are trying to interpret. Always remember that. Now, with that being said, cheers. I will definitely see you in the next video.